Hello and welcome to this short video on how to make a copy of a Google form as a quiz with automatic grading. These instructions are part of the ancillary materials for the textbook that you see down here, an introduction to statistics and data analysis. But they could be useful for anyone who wants to use a Google form as a quiz and then wants to learn about the grading, the automatic grading, and where Google puts those grades. So we're going to start here. This is a Word document, and this textbook comes with 15 quizzes, one for each chapter. And you will get this Word document as part of the resources online. And notice that right here is the link to the Google form that we're going to be using today. So if I hit Control and left click, that will come up with the next screen that asks me to make a copy. So once I've done that, once I've clicked on make a copy, here is the actual quiz itself. So again, here you can see it asks for the student name, and then it has the 10 questions. At this point, you can rename the quiz by going up here and typing in a new name. You can see where Google put this quiz, and it will just put it in a general directory with any other forms that you may have. So let me go back here to show the quiz again. Okay, so now you may want to change the settings. So here would be the responses, but we don't have any yet. And here are the settings. So if you notice here, I have chosen to make this a quiz. And I've elected to have the grades released immediately after submission. So in other words, each student can see their grades right away. They can see which questions they missed. They can see the correct answer along with feedback if there's feedback available, and the points for each question. So you can change all of those settings. If you prefer not to release each student's grade till everyone has taken the quiz, that's possible here. And down here under responses, I have said I want to limit it to one choice per student, one response per student. So they can't keep taking the quiz, but if you prefer to let them have multiple attempts, you could do that. Presentation, you could show a progress bar, do various things here, whether you want to share the result summary with students. I generally don't do that since that is something I want to be careful of with FERPA laws. And now we can go back up here. Because I limited the responses to one attempt per student, students will be required to sign in using a Google account. And this is to keep track of whether or not they've already attempted the quiz. Now, I realize that not everyone has a Google account. So I set up these quizzes in Canvas, a learning management system, and there are others like Blackboard. And my instructions for all 15 quizzes include this. To take the quiz, you will need a free Google account. If you already use Gmail, then you have an account, and you'll type in your Gmail address and password to open the quiz. And then if you do not have a Google account, go to accounts.google.com, click on Create Account, and follow the instructions. And then once they've done that, they'll be able to click on the link that I put here and start the quiz. So I'm back on the screen of the settings. And let's say I want to send out this quiz now. I would go over here, click on Send. You can send it via email, but I like to use this link here, which creates a link to the quiz. I always shorten it, and then I can copy that link by hitting Control-C. So let me go up here. I will quickly put that in there and show you that when a student goes to that, they will be able to answer this quiz. So let me just quickly, I'll randomly select answers here. So here's question 1, question 2, and we will then go and look at my grades for this quiz. So I'm not even looking at the answers. I'm probably going to get a 0 out of 10. And all of the above. Okay, so I'm submitting that. Now, if I go back to the copy of the quiz for the instructor, and I click this off here, I see that, one student has responded. And now I get to the part of this video where I'm going to show you how to get the grades. So we'll only have my response, but in theory, all of your students would have responded. Okay, so right here, when you're under the response tab, you will see this icon, and it says create a spreadsheet. And I'm going to select create a new one. And in this spreadsheet, you will see when I took the quiz, my score, although it says 5 out of 10, notice up here it's a 5, my name, and here are my answers. Okay, so all of your students will automatically appear here in this single spreadsheet along with their grade. The only other thing to note is what the student sees. So once, as a student, I've submitted my responses, I can now go and view my score. So notice it tells me that my answer is wrong and the correct answer should have been C. And I can look through all of these answers here. And here's a little bit of feedback. Remember that you would never accept the null hypothesis. So again, some of the questions, here's feedback on exactly how to calculate the answer to this question in case they don't know how I was able to determine the correct answer. And finally, down to the very end there. So once again, this was a short video just to show you how to use a Google form as a quiz and how to look at the grade sheet. This was not a quiz to show you how to set up a quiz, although that is quite simple. And if I wanted to add another question in here, I could simply click this add button and I could add a new question right here and decide what type of question. But that is for another video. So thank you for listening.